Okay, so what if I told you that your entire life is basically a game of strategy? Seriously. And just like any other game, it's got rules. And if you can figure out those rules, well, that's like getting the ultimate cheat code. So picture this. It's 1983, a quiet night, and the Soviet officer, Stanislav Petrov, is just staring at a screen. But this screen is, well, it's screaming at him. It's saying American nukes are in the air, headed right for them. Now, the protocol, the rule book, it demanded only one thing: immediate retaliation. The entire fate of the world, it's all on his shoulders in that one moment. I mean, that decision from Petrov had global consequences, right? But think about this for a second. What if the choices you make every single day, in your job, with your friends, your family, your future, what if those are just as critical for the little world you're building for yourself? Right, so let's talk about what Petrov did. His choice, it wasn't just a random guess. No way. It was a super high-stakes strategic calculation. In that one moment, he was literally playing a game with the fate of the entire planet. And believe it or not, there's actually a science to understanding these kinds of decisions. It's like the official rulebook for the game of life, and it's called game theory.
So what is this thing exactly? Well, at its core, game theory is the science of strategy. It's a whole way of thinking that helps us predict what other people are going to do so we can make smarter moves ourselves. And listen, it's not about being sneaky or manipulative. Not at all. It's about seeing the whole chessboard and actually understanding how all the pieces are moving. Okay, to really wrap our heads around this, we've got to look at the most famous example in all of game theory. It's called the prisoner's dilemma. And I promise you, once you understand this one little scenario, you're going to start seeing it absolutely everywhere in your life. All right, so here's the setup. Imagine you and a partner in crime, you get caught. The cops separate you, and they come to you with a deal. They say, betray your partner and you walk free. They'll get a long, long sentence. But if you both stay quiet, cooperate with each other, you both just get a light slap on the wrist. Here's the kicker, though. If you both betray each other, you both get a medium sentence. And the catch? You have absolutely no idea what your partner is going to choose. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because the cold, hard logic is kind of counterintuitive. If you just look at this grid, the safest, most selfish move is always to betray your partner. I mean, think about it. Best case, you win big. Worst case, you get a medium sentence. You totally avoid that losing big scenario. But, and this is so crucial, if both of you follow that same rational logic, you both end up losing. The only way to get to that best possible outcome for both of you is through trust. It's a total leap of faith. And you know what? This whole dilemma, it's not just some boring thought experiment. Oh no. It was literally the entire premise of the final round of a real game show in the UK called Golden Balls. Two regular people facing this exact choice with a massive cash jackpot on the line. The rules couldn't be simpler. You've got two finalists, one big jackpot. They each secretly choose a ball. One says split, the other says steal. Now, if they both choose split, great, they share the cash. If one steals while the other splits, the stealer gets everything. But, and this is the big one, if they both choose steal, boom, nobody gets a single penny. It is a perfect prisoner's dilemma, playing out live on television. So in this one absolutely legendary game, a contestant named Nick, he does something nobody saw coming. He looks his opponent, a guy named Ibrahim, dead in the eye, and he promises him over and over again, I am 100% going to choose the steal ball. He even says, look, I'll share the money with you after the show, but right now on TV, I'm going to steal. This just backs Ibrahim into a completely impossible corner. Think about it. If Ibrahim also picks steal, they both walk away with nothing. So his only logical path to getting any money at all was to just trust Nick and choose split. And so, agonizingly, he did it. And then came the reveal. Nick opens his ball, and it says split. He never, ever intended to steal. He just understood the game on a whole other level. By making it completely pointless for his opponent to betray him, he guaranteed they would cooperate. Now, what Nick did was brilliant, right? But it was kind of a one-time hack. So that begs the question, is there a strategy that works not just once, but over and over and over again? A universal approach that encourages people to cooperate in the long run. Well, a bunch of researchers got really curious and decided to find out. Back in the 80s, this political scientist, Robert Axelrod, he set out to find exactly that. He created this awesome computer tournament where different programs played hundreds and hundreds of rounds of the prisoner's dilemma against each other. The whole point was to find the one single best long-term strategy. And the winner? It was a program so simple, it was actually kind of shocking. It was called Tit for Tat, and it basically had 4 super simple rules. Rule number 1, be nice. Always start by cooperating. Just give the other person the benefit of the doubt. Rule 2, be provokable. The second your opponent betrays you, you retaliate immediately on the very next move. No hesitation. Rule 3, be forgiving. The moment they go back to cooperating, you forgive them instantly and cooperate right back. No holding grudges. And finally, Rule 4, be clear. Your strategy is so simple, so predictable, that your opponent can figure it out in no time. So here's the really crucial takeaway. Tit for tat doesn't win by being mean or aggressive or tricky, not at all. As Axelrod himself put it, it succeeds by eliciting cooperation from others, not by crushing them. It creates this stable, positive feedback loop. Okay, this all sounds pretty perfect, doesn't it? Be nice, stand up for yourself, but be forgiving. What's not to like? But, well, life is messy. It's not a clean computer simulation. So what happens when signals get crossed? When there's a misunderstanding, a glitch in the game? Turns out, simple tit for tat has this one fatal flaw, a huge vulnerability. Just imagine, you think your friend betrayed you, but really it was just a simple miscommunication, so you retaliate. Now, from their perspective, your retaliation looks like a totally unprovoked attack. So what do? They retaliate back. And just like that, you're locked in this endless death spiral of revenge, all over something that wasn't even real to begin with. Both of you just lose and lose and lose. So this problem led to an upgrade. It's called generous tit for tat. It follows all the same simple rules, but with one tiny little tweak. Every so often, let's say 1 time out of 10, it'll just forgive what looks like a betrayal, just in case it was a mistake. And that tiny little bit of grace, it's enough to break that whole revenge cycle before it even starts. It's an absolutely crucial upgrade for the real world. Because let's be honest, real life is full of miscommunication. And that brings us right back to where we started this whole thing. Stanislav Petrov all alone in that bunker. The system, the ultimate authority he's supposed to trust, it defected. It screamed that the enemy had launched a first strike. Now, protocol, which is basically a perfect tit-for-tat response, demanded he retaliate immediately. But he didn't do it. He just had a hunch, a gut feeling that it was a glitch. So he chose, in that one critical moment, to forgive the system's apparent betrayal. He acted generously. He assumed it was a mistake. And that single, real-world act of generous tit-for-tat saved the entire world from nuclear war. And guess what? He was right. It was just a false alarm. So, okay, we've gone through all this theory, the dilemmas, the strategies. So what are the actual cheat codes? What can we take away from all this and actually use in our own lives? How do we play the game better? All right, here they are. First, think long-term. Life isn't a single round, it's a repeated game. Your reputation follows you around. Second, start nice, but always be ready to stand your ground. Cooperate first, for sure, but don't let anyone walk all over you. Third, forgive mistakes. Don't get trapped in those nasty revenge spirals over a simple misunderstanding. It's just not worth it. Fourth, build alliances. Come on, life is a multiplayer game, not a solo quest. And finally, number 5, be clear. Make your intentions known. People can't trust you if they have no idea what your game plan is. So, in the end, what's the ultimate cheat code? The math, the data, it's all crystal clear. Selfishness might, maybe, win you a single round. But cooperation, that's what wins the whole game. The most successful, the most rational way to play the game of life isn't about defeating other people. It's about building a game that's so good, everyone wants to keep playing with you. That is how you truly win.